This past week, this little guy was born here on the homestead. And on the day he was born, we were really excited, but a little stressed because we didn't see the little guy nurse all day. But thankfully, later in the evening, I caught him nursing, and he was doing a good job too. So our stress level went down, but went right back up again. Because for a number of days now, we've been experiencing temperatures that were in the 70s, which is really unusual for this time. Even though it's been really nice to have those 70-degree temperatures, it is really unusual for this time of year. And even things that shouldn't be green right now, we're starting to turn green. And I was hoping that, man, please don't let our fruit trees start budding. That's not good if they start budding right now. But thankfully, that didn't happen. And all the warm temperatures that we were having, well, that was going to change. And one of the things that I have learned through experience here on the homestead is whenever there's a big change in temperature, there's usually some heavy winds that come along with those changes. And for me personally, one of the things that I go through when there's that change of temperature and the winds, I have this anxiety that just comes in me, and it's just like, oh man. And it's kind of tough to deal with.
Well, it's probably because of how many times the hoop houses, the greenhouse, high tunnel, whatever you want to call it, has been mangled by the wind.
Something happened last night. There was a storm that came through, and a huge gust of wind came by, freak wind. Well, let's just see what happened. Wow, this is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculously crazy. I don't even know what to say right now. At least some of it's been. Hopefully I can fix it. But wow. I knew last night when I heard this just freak wind come through, and then I heard a boom. Something wasn't right. The storm was just crazy. Lightning. Thankfully it looks like this is the only thing that was damaged. But not happy that this one did. Other greenhouse over there that we moved, still fine. Surprisingly, because it's not even nailed down or secured down. We definitely have had some negative experiences with the wind, and I'm sure that contributes to it some. But even before the actual day of the wind, even if I don't know that it's coming, I notice that I start to feel anxiety coming the day before it comes, and I'm like, wow, why am I so anxious, and why am I feeling this way? And then I'm like, start looking up to see what's going on. I'm like, oh no, we got some high winds and temperature changes coming.
You're just a barometer.
I never thought of a human barometer.
So anytime you start feeling anxious, like, it's gonna be windy.
Oh yeah, but we've dealt with things in the past, and some people wonder how we deal with temperatures and things, climate and weather and all that living in the yurt. And for the most part, we do pretty well with it being circular. The wind doesn't really catch on, just kind of blows right off of it. And we've even experienced 2 hurricanes that have come here, and Hurricane Florence was one of those. And the winds were pretty high on dealing with those hurricanes. It even blew over one of the Harbor Freight greenhouses that we had. And through that experience that I learned, I was like, I am going to concrete our poles for our greenhouses in the ground just to help ensure that none of it blows away, because it's stressful to see something, and I've seen it right before my eyes.
Right,
one of our high tunnels
door.
just lift up, blow over, and I was like, oh, all that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot disheartening whenever you spend, especially if you ain't got the money to replace it.
Yeah. Work, money, time, energy. No. Well, anyways, the winds that came through were even, here recently, were even, I think, worse than what we had during the hurricanes. And stress was definitely, and anxiety was definitely kicking up. It even made me hard to sleep. And with living in the yurt, one of the things that is good and can be bad with living here is, like, we're really attached. We can really hear the sounds and things outside really well.
Yeah.
And that's nice when you hear, like, birds, and you just hear nice pleasant sounds,
or
even
gentle rain,
just pattering on the roof, or or even some of the frogs sometimes outside, or even the rooster crowing. You can hear them a little clearer. But when storms come through, you hear them a lot more too. And that can be the negative side of living here.
Yeah, it's a little, I don't know. I guess you could say frightening a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking is a good, that's what I was trying to say before. It can be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, especially when you're questioning your roof.
Yeah.
Especially with the high winds that we have. And for me, it's not necessarily the winds. I am concerned about a tornado coming through, yes, and a tree or something like that falling, yes. But overall, I'm not too concerned about us living here in the yurt. And
no.
We survived 2 hurricanes that have come through.
But I really think that night it was probably 60+ mile-an-hour winds.
They were pretty strong especially for us in our area.
Because we'll get gusts like that whenever thunderstorms kick up and everything, but it was windy for a long time that night.
But thankfully we survived that storm, hot winds as well. They had no issues with the yurt at all. We did have a few items that blew around the homestead, which happens from time to time with high winds, and that's to be expected. But we did have some heavy rain that came through really quickly with that drastic change, and so much so it filled up the gorilla cart about halfway, and I had to dump that out. And one thing that did happen with our greenhouse is somehow it blew the door that opens and only opens out, it blew it inside, and it was like in the frame where I had to like pull it out and readjust, and man, this is crazy. The wind blew this inside of here. Now I'm trying to pull it out. Looks like I'm gonna have to go inside and cut out my door steel here from the frame. Man, it's crazy how the wind blew this door inside of the greenhouse. That one. Door down broke too. Back out again. Dang. Right there. Door pushing it in. Shouldn't be screwed in anymore. Well, broke that part. That's crazy. But through all this, one of my major stresses was the little baby goat. It was definitely on my mind that, man, the temperature's dropping, it's getting cold. This little one was recently born.
A day old.
I'm hoping that the high tunnel doesn't blow and something happens to that little guy, and I'm just thinking about it a lot. And so, went out there to check on him. And as I was heading out to check on him, I was like, oh no, they escaped. What are you doing? Ah, man. Why are you over here? Well, stay over here. Over here. So I brought the little guy back into the kid pen, and the mama, she gave me quite the yell as I was taking him back in there and put them both back in there. That way. And then after I got them both back in, I went ahead and fixed the pen, so hopefully they won't be escaping on us anymore. I don't know if it was something about the winds or whatever that kind of frightened her and she was excited, or I don't know. But anyways, they need to stay in there at least for the time being. And then sometime later, I decided I want to cut a nice salad for Mama. Libby's her name. And because I was like, we got a number of things that are green in the garden. Let's go cut her up some greens and bring it to her. So we first started off with cutting her up some Swiss chard. Alright, got a few items here for our goat salad. Some arugula, Swiss chard. We'll give them a little bit of dock. just a little bit. Some say it's not good for them to eat a lot of this, but they like it. I think it's like candy to them. Then I brought this out up there to Mama. Hey, want some? Yummy. Yeah. Yeah. Some dye. Come out some arugula here. It's a big piece of arugula. Munch, munch, munch. Swiss chard. Lean, mean, greens eating machine. Salad muncher. Alrighty. And one of the things that I did as I was better securing the pen is I put a tarp on there just to block out some wind, that drafts and cool temperatures that may be coming through, and also to help keep her in there a little bit more. There. How's the little one doing in there? How's he doing in there? You taking care of him? Yeah, of course you are. And as I was trying to get in the pen, well, let's just say I had to disturb the little guy from his nap. He really didn't want to get up.
He's right.
Get up. Get up. Get that little bottom up. Come on. Get up. Alright. Here we go. Nice little greens buffet here. So as I was offering the greens to Mama there, well, I was also offering some to the little guy, just because he was a little curious and was like, what do you have there? But he really didn't want to eat any. And I know they usually don't start eating any of that stuff until they're over a week old. Somewhere around 2 weeks is what I've been reading and hearing. So I guess he won't start eating any of that until around that time. But he has just kind of been poking around at the hay and like putting his mouth on it. So he might be trying to warm up to gradually starting to eat that pretty soon. But Mama, we continue to provide her with various things. Sayla's constantly bringing her like molasses and alfalfa and all those different things that you've gotten for them to add to her diet.
Yeah, we have some alfalfa pellets and not a lot of molasses. We'll put some molasses in her water, and I told Taylor she could give her some grain too, just because. But mostly hay and alfalfa pellets and sunflower seeds. Those are full of good minerals for her, and I've been feeding that to the goats for a long time. And I got her some goat treats too, because you know every mama needs some treats after they've had a baby. So I figured goats should too.
Yeah, she's got put all that work into there, so why not reward her even more?
That's right.
Hey, buddy.
What do you think of that little guy there?
I think he's cute.
You like him?
Mm-hmm.
Thought about some names yet?
I like Cody.
Cody? Sounds like a neat name. He almost looks like Cody. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he looks like one.
What about you guys? What do you think we should name a little boy goat here? He's a little cute little guy. He's hanging out right there.
Okay, so right now, trying to get some milk out of this other udder, because he's not drinking milk out of it. And the other day when I came out here, it had a lot of milk in it, and I didn't want her to get mastitis.
So he's basically just nursing out of one side mainly that you were noticing? All right, so you're just making sure that other side gets the milk moving through it, right?
Yep.
Pumping out of it. Oh, look, I just did a little jump there.
Yeah, he's been doing that.
This must be his favorite side right here. Yep, time to take a little drink right there. You a little drinky drink? Look at him. Moving around a lot more. Look at there.
He got higher than this morning.
Whoa. Look at him busting out some new tricks there. You got some new moves? What kind of new moves you got? What kind of new moves have you seen him do?
Well, that's the highest he's gotten on that hay bale. One time he...
Whoa!
Oh!
Oh!
Whoa!
Got him for the first time getting up there. He made it.
Whoa!
Oh, and then he jumped right back down. He's showing off for the camera. Uh-oh. He looked like he was getting ready to try another one. What else you got in you? Drinking that super juice there out of your mommy.
You want another treat, Libby?
Uh-oh, I think I found a spot on him. Likes to be rubbed right there under his belly. Isn't that just like his mom? Has that little pause button under her belly?
Yep.
Yep.
She loves being rubbed. All the other goats won't let me rub their belly, but Olivia let me.
She likes it. So I guess he follows after his mom there. He likes to be rubbed on the belly. You like to be rubbed on the belly? Yeah, like that. Like that. So going forward, the plan is, at least right now is, when he reaches about 6 weeks old, that we're going to separate them at night and then milk Libby in the morning. So that way we can start getting some milk from her as well. And then the rest of the day after that 6-week period, they can be together, but then separate them again at night. So we got that going on, as well as we have 2 other females that are pregnant as well. So hopefully they'll give birth here any day now. We'll see. Hopefully soon.
None.
So we just keep checking every few hours or so, just going out there to checking to see if there's any signs of labor, and I haven't seen any yet. So hopefully that will happen here soon, at some point. It's got to happen at some point, right? So yeah, that's our goat adventures right now.
Exciting.
Exciting. So stay tuned, see what happens.